and turn yes into no. So I'd like to introduce you to your host, Frank Craig. Frank joined Wendover after spending the previous 9 years in the financial sector. His focus is on increasing employee production and driving bottom line revenue. He is a graduate of Embry-Riddle Aeronautical University, and so he brings to us a wide range of experiences and insight. So here's Frank.
Thank you, Shannon. Good morning, good afternoon to everyone in attendance. Before we get started, I just wanted to let you guys know I will not try to sell you anything. I will not even talk about Wendover's products or anything. For you guys all have peace of mind. Also, please write down or make some mental notes of 2 things that you would like to see accomplished during today's webinar. And if I don't address them, please use the chat function and address them at the end with questions. If at any point you have a question regarding one of the topics, please enter the chat and I'll try to address that as soon as possible. Wendover, we've been the leader since 1990. We stress the importance of providing helpful tips like this to our partners and to our prospects. We hope that you find it useful. We also hope that you found our newsletter helpful as well. And our next webinar will be hosted by Heather Eisenman, who is a business development coach, and that'll be March 19th. So as we get started here, yes, no, maybe so. How to overcome objections and turn the no into a yes. Nobody likes hearing no, so let's see if we can come up with some tips and suggestions to help out, to help you guys out. So even experienced salespeople don't always know how to respond to a no. Why could that be? Maybe because it is a very critical skill, just like selling or prospecting. They are both a critical skill. A lot of times people will try to defend their actions opposed to just listening. And what that means is it's not pressuring your prospect to get to the ultimate decision that you want to have, which is yes, but more of listening. So the best way to overcome that objection is to listen, take notes, and respond. Is everyone still able to see my screen? There we go. So listen, take notes, and respond. LTR. You'll hear me talk about this quite a bit today. So if you take nothing away, remember LTR. Listen, take notes, and respond. Why is that? Because listening, every good conversation starts with listening. Can't have one without the other. So most sales, they're typically lost because we don't listen or focus on the customer's needs or wants. Why? Because we focus on the sales pitch. We're all programmed to know about our product and how it's going to benefit somebody. But if that person, you catch them on a bad day, or for whatever reason you can't get your point across to them, you're just you're digging yourself into a hole. Or as we like to call, you're trying to dig out to save the sale. So what is digging to save the sale? Digging to save the sale is when you're having a conversation with somebody and they just kind of blow you off. They say they're not interested. And then you automatically put your gloves up and you start defending everything about your company. It doesn't work. I would be willing to wager that probably it might work, but it's not going to be a long-time customer. And the reason why is because you have an uphill fight with them. So we recommend listen, and you will see why. 80-20 rule. I'm sure a large majority of you know what the 80-20 rule is. It means you need to listen to the prospect 80% of the time and only talk 20. Why should the prospect be doing a majority of the talking? Because we want objections. They're going to give them to us, so why not listen and know what they are? We lose more sales by talking our way out of them. If we just listen, we're going to uncover what their needs are, and we're going to probably be able to offer them more solutions than they already knew that we provided. Like I said, the prospect or customer will give us everything we need if we just listen. Don't be afraid of silence. Many times prospects will answer their own objections if we don't rush to a response. Larry Dillon, our CEO, he always mentions to us, after we make a great point, to be quiet. Let the other person talk first. Just like in the movie, silence is golden. So you want to just keep quiet after you make a good point and let them talk. Now, if they don't respond in 5 minutes, maybe you want to make a joke and be like, hey, you guys still awake? But at the same time, you do want them to speak, because as long as they're talking, the conversation keeps going and we're getting closer to our ultimate goal. So a personal example. I'm sure everyone's been to the major home improvement stores or to a grocery store. So I recently went in around the holidays to purchase a couple of items. One was a new tool cart, another was a shed, a workbench, and it was the holidays, so I needed some holiday lights. So I went in mind to purchase all of these items, but I'm willing to bet that none of you will guess how many items I actually walked away with. And the reason I say that is there's twofold. One, it could be that I walked away with everything and more, or I walked away with nothing or just a couple of things. So what I walked away with was the shed because I needed it. And I'm smart enough to know that if I didn't leave with the decorations, I'd be probably sleeping in the shed after I build it. So they were the two things I walked away with. What happened? Why didn't I buy more? Well, the sales rep in the tool storage department didn't listen to my needs. They had a brand new cart that was out on display. It had about 7 different price tags on it. I simply asked, hey, which price tag is it? And I don't see any boxes. Can I take this one? And the guy's like, I don't know. Let me see. He starts telling me all about Peggy, the person that's been hired for 6 months, and her sole job is solely to make sure that the price tags are correct. And I kept telling him, I don't care about Peggy, unfortunately. I mean, all that I care about is, can I take this home with me today? Or is there something similar that I could take home with? I'm prepared to buy. Again, he just kept talking about Peggy. I just walked away. As Homer Simpson would say, no! Like, if he just listened, I probably would have walked out of there with a lot more than I did. I would have walked away probably with some new tools, because if I just got a new tool chest, hey, you know what? Maybe the guy could have said, hey, have you heard about our new drill or our new air gun? No, I haven't. But you know what? It's the holidays. I want it now. So why did the sales go wrong? We're programmed based to buy on the person. We did not have a good connection. The product, I liked the product. That's why I was there. The price, I was willing to buy. I asked them what the price is, or if there's anything similar to it, if I can't buy that one. Convenience. It was convenient. I was there. So in my example, like I just went over, it was convenient, the products were good, and I was willing and prepared to buy, but the store didn't gain my business. One of the things that I find very funny in one of the sales workshops that I attended a few years ago, a guy brought out Tylenol, a CVS brand, and a Walmart brand of headache medicine. And we had to write down what the prices were and which one we would buy based on the price and convenience if we had to drive a couple of miles. And everyone said that they would go with the Tylenol. Guy asks us to pick up the bottle. So we pick up the bottle of all 3. The Walmart brand was probably cheaper by $2. The CVS was probably $1 more, and then Tylenol was about $2.50 more. We look at them. He's like, all right, read the ingredients. On all 3, the ingredients are the exact same. Okay, now let's go down and read where it's manufactured. It's manufactured in the same state. Okay, what plant? Same plant. Everything is the exact same. But why do people spend $2 more on Tylenol than they do with Walmart or a CVS? One, because the company, that's the person. They build the trust through their commercials. I was making a joke the other day with one of my sales members here, and I said, you know, if I handed you a Tylenol and I told you it was Walmart, you'd tell me the headache's still there. If I handed you the Walmart brand and said it's Tylenol, you would tell me the headache's gone. It's all mental. We believe what we're programmed to believe. So how do we build the trust This comes to the T. So we've covered the L, now we're moving on to T. Take notes. One of the key ways to turn a no into a yes is by taking notes. How can we be prepared if we're not taking notes? Write down your prospect's objections and your responses. You know, maybe it sounds great in your head, but seeing it on paper might be a little bit better for you. Ask as many questions as you need to understand where the prospect's coming from and what the real objection is. That's right. What is the real objection? Is it just a no, or is it a no as an excuse? I'm a firm believer and I don't believe in excuses. So if it's a real no, it's a no. If it's just a no that they're excuse, what's the real concern? So if you study your notes, you'll be ready the next time someone has the same objection. And you'll be able to relate a story of how you helped a client with that same objection. So for example here, if you're talking to somebody and they give you the same objection that you heard last week from a client, and you help that client, you can translate that story and, hey, you know what, somebody that was in the same position as you, we were able to help. And what we found is when we provided them with this solution, this is what they got out of it. Relate a third-party story is going to help you generate that yes from a no. Has to be truthful. Can't make it up. You have to be prepared to tell about all of the research and everything that went into helping them do it, but that third-party story will benefit you. Respond. A thoughtful response will help you win the sale. Anybody can respond, and anyone can get hung up on. So let's respond carefully, sympathetically, by repeating what their concern was, what their objection was, and maybe something about their business. That will be helpful to you to match that solution. So it should always reflect and react to your customer's input. Like I had mentioned, you want to repeat. It shows them that you understand exactly where they're coming from and what they're saying, and it goes to building that trust. It also shows that you've been listening and that you even took it a step further by taking notes. Not that you just want to get in there and sell, because you need to build the relationship to sell. They need to know that you're going to be with them if they run into a problem. They don't want just somebody to come in and, hey, thanks for buying. I'll call you next time your contract's up. There's two analogies. One, you go to buy a car. Maybe you have 3 or 4 kids, you need an SUV or you need a minivan. You walk in and the guy or girl sees you and they say, hey, you know what, this person would be perfect for a Mustang. Well, a Mustang's pretty much a 2-seater. Yeah, there's some seats in the back, but you're not going to fit 4 kids in that car. And they're just programmed on, hey, you know what, the deal of the week's the Mustang. Let's get this person in the Mustang. Probably walking out of there frustrated because the sales guy didn't listen. Or you're walking out of there and your spouse is going to kill you because you bought a sports car instead of a family car. But if you take the doctor's approach, what do? They listen, they ask questions, they listen some more, they ask a couple more follow-up questions, and then they prescribe a solution. Maybe the doctor's not always 100% correct, but most of the time they are, and they make you feel better when you leave. So we want to be the doctors. We want to be the experts. Remember, you guys are all sales professionals. You've been doing this a while, and you know your product, and you wouldn't be calling the person if it wasn't to provide them with a solution, because your time's valuable and so is theirs. So build that trust. Be the doctor. Don't try to sell them until you answered their question. Maybe it's going to take 2 calls. Maybe 3. But remember, if it's an ex-client or it's somebody that told you no, now you had 3 conversations with the person before, opposed to just hanging up and being like, okay, let's move them off the radar. Some of the best people are ex-clients or people that tell you no, then you call them back in a couple of days because who knows, maybe they had a bad day. Or maybe you were off your game. Or you just got more information from them that's going to help you now highlight how you can benefit them. So we'll go into a couple of objections right now that are common. Our best salespeople who partner with Wendover, we always ask them what they do, what some of their objections are when they get people on the phone. So they're going to be pretty generic, but here's one. We've probably all heard this. Hi, Bob. This is Frank Craig calling from XYZ Company. I wanted to touch base with you on our state-of-the-art product, service, whatever. Do you got a couple of minutes? What is the typical response? It's no. Of course I don't have it. Time. Or it's going to be no, I've used your product and did not have any success. Automatically you want to put the gloves up and be like, what are you talking about? You didn't have success with our product. Bite the tongue, put the gloves away, let's have a conversation with these people. So what do? Do we hang up? Do we thank them for their time? Do we take them off our sales radar? Do we start arguing with them and digging ourselves into a ditch? Remember, one key thing here. For every time you do something well with a customer, they might tell one person. Maybe. If you mess up, they're going to tell 10 to 15, and now you're really in a trench. So just always keep that in the back of your mind that, hey, let's have a conversation. You'll probably run into one or two people that, they don't want to talk to you, but for a large majority, as long as you get them talking, you're going to break down their barriers and really uncover what the real issue is. So we shouldn't be just saying thank you for your time and hang up and taking them off their radar. Like I was mentioning, the ex-client or somebody that's used your competitor, they're the best prospect for you, or the best client. You got nothing to lose. You can create a win-win. Why? Like I said, you got nothing to lose here. He says he's not interested, he's used the product, or he's used somebody else's service. One, you're different than your competitor. Two, I'm sure that you guys have improved from the last time that person spoke to you, and you wouldn't be calling them unless you knew that you could benefit them. So what if we just ask two more questions? Two simple questions, right? Something's very simple. Bob, thanks for your feedback. It means a lot. We always aim to continue to improve. Would you mind if I just asked you one or two more questions to better understand why our product service did not work for you? Trust me, if they had a bad experience with you, they're going to love to throw everything at you and take it. Take it right on the chin, listen, take notes. Like I said, he's going to tell you everything. But guess what? It's an opportunity to engage them in a conversation on how you've improved. Most of the times, you want to work with them moving forward. So the past is the past. You need to address their concerns, but you also need to show them where you're going. And most of the times, you can create a win-win. And the biggest issue here is most of the time it's an outside thing that it wasn't even your product, it wasn't your service, it wasn't your team, it wasn't your company. It was something to do with them on why your service didn't work for them or why the competitors didn't work for them. But if you just ask a couple of questions, why didn't it work? Please tell us. We need to hear this feedback so we can improve, just like you guys like to hear feedback. So create the win-win. Another objection. Price. Price. Everybody loves mentioning price. Is it an excuse, or are they really budget-driven and tight with the price? That's what we need to uncover. You guys probably wouldn't be calling them if you haven't identified them by somebody that can afford your product or service. So how do we overcome the price issue? Hi, Josephine. This is Frank Craig calling from XYZ Company. I'm just following up on our last conversation, see if you had any more questions about our service, and to see if we can help you achieve your goal, whether that's buying furniture, installing a new phone system, moving an office, putting carpet in, changing a light bulb, whatever. They have goals, and you want to accomplish their goals. Do you have a few minutes? Frank, to be honest, your price is too high. Maybe you gave them a quote, maybe you didn't. But what do most people do when they hear the price? They turn into that car salesman. Okay, what can we do to get you into this car today, right? Your price is the price. It's there for a reason. So why cut it into whatever objection they have, why deteriorate your product by lowering the value? If we just ask a question or two, we can uncover everything. Thanks for telling me that. Have you found a less expensive product? Well, no, we haven't really been looking. Okay, right off the bat, how do they know our product's more money if they haven't done any research or shopped around? Or if they say, yes, you know, I got ABC company down the street, they quoted me this. Oh, well, you know, we normally do charge more than a couple of our competitors. Is price the only consideration? I appreciate you letting me know that. Can I ask what you're expecting to pay? Asking these questions, they're not a yes or no question. I mean, you want to ask a question that's going to lead to more conversations. And this helps us have an honest conversation regarding what their real objection is. Is it price? Usually customers will tell you exactly what they need in order to buy from you. And the biggest thing here is that on price, when you're talking about it, is price really an issue? If you're better than your competitor, you never want to slam your competitor because you can learn from their mistakes or you can learn from their success. But would you rather pay somebody and then have to pay somebody else again to fix a mistake and then the original price? So really, what is their objection? If you know that the competitor that quoted them $10 and the job should be $100, it should be a red flag to that person right away. Hey, you know what, we do charge higher, but the reason we charge higher is because XYZ, ABC, all of the reasons that are outlined in there. We found that a couple of people that were in the same position as you with the tight budget, we found that every once in a while they don't go with us. We end up earning their business, and they end up paying double because we have to fix the mistake of our competitor. Then plus it's the original fee on top of it. So now they paid 3 times. And they could have just paid once with us, and it would have been cheaper in the long run. So price really isn't an issue. Now, if you're $1,000 and average price is $100, yeah, there might be a significant conversation on that budget. But again, knowing what their budget is going to help you have the honest conversation about the customer's price requirements. I hope that makes sense to everybody. So just remember, if somebody says price, Frank said, you know what, price isn't an issue, because if we really have the product and we have the service and we have everything that makes us stand apart, what's their real concern? And just always ask. I mean, hey, you know what, we've already addressed the price issue, because we're going to save you money in the long run. We're going to do this. We're going to do that. We're providing you more than the other offers that were out there. So what's your real concern? Because price isn't it. Don't be rude about it, but at the same time, you can let them know, hey, no, we already covered that. The price, remember we discussed that, and all the extra things that we're including that the other people don't include. So finding out that. So recap, LTR. Remember, LTR, the key steps into turning a no into a yes. And it's in this order. Remember, you guys are the doctor. You listen. Do not try to interject. It's hard. Trust me, I like to talk, but I need to listen 80% of the time and only talk 20. So we don't interject. Our time's going to come, and when it does come, we're now fired up. We're ready to go. We have all the ammunition in the gun ready to go. Or all the tools in the tool belt, whatever cliche you want to use here. We now have everything that they need because they told us. They told us why our products or service or ideas aren't going to work for them. You have it all written down. You can come back and be like, well, wait a second. I have that. I have this, and I have that. So would you mind having a couple of minutes just to humor me? And you know what? I'll hang up on myself if I don't think that we're a good fit. Because your time's valuable, but guess what? My time's even more valuable as well. Putting yourself up there with them on an equal level is going to help you have that too. Because if you ever try to pitch somebody something right away, without listening or without asking them for time and their undivided attention, you might as well just hang up because honestly, they have a million things going on, just like you guys. You're thinking about the next call. You're thinking about the order that you have, the contract that's waiting to come in. Hey, if you can tell they're busy, hey, you know what, I understand you're busy. I really do need 5 minutes of your undivided attention. Would later on this afternoon work for you? One, now you're setting a precedent that, hey, you know what, my call is important, just like your time. Now you're really setting the stage. So now when they come at you with all those objections, you've already put yourself up there with them, and you can continue because you have those the notes. So now we're covering T again. Take notes. You don't want to miss an opportunity to highlight how you can help them or how you've improved. That is the biggest thing. How have you improved? Because that's all, even if you didn't do anything wrong and they think that you're the worst company out there, you need to highlight where you've come in the last year, 2 years, or from the last time they purchased from us. And then respond. Repeat their questions and concerns back to them before offering a relevant, thoughtful response. So listen, take notes, and respond. LTR. I know there's another one, TCB, take care of business. So just remember LTR and TCB, because if you listen, you take notes, you respond, you're going to take care of business as well, and you're probably going to close a couple more deals. Offer the solutions. The solutions, you can't offer a phone system if the person's telling you that the only thing that they need is a cell phone. I mean, that's all that they need is a cell phone. You need to address their real solution. Or if you're in there to sell desks and all they need chairs, you need to address the chairs first, and then maybe say, you know what, a great desk would complement this even more. Because you need to encourage the prospect to think on their own, but also to come up with the solution. I'm not sure if anyone's ever heard this. No one likes to be sold. Again, nobody likes to be sold. But I guarantee you everyone likes to buy. I mean, I was prepared to buy in all of my examples that I shared. My significant other, my wife, would have killed me for walking out of that store with new power tools and everything. But at the same time, guess what? I would have felt good, and the store would have felt good because they would have gotten a larger sale. Everyone likes to buy clothes, shoes, cars, anything. And the biggest thing that we preach is if you automatically call to sell somebody something, it's kind of like walking into a department store to buy clothes or a suit. What's the first thing everybody says? Sales guy comes up, or girl comes up and says, can I help you with something? You're saying, no, I'm just looking. You already have the money in your wallet ready to buy, right? Then the best salesperson, I went into Men's Warehouse to buy a couple. I went in with the intention to buy one suit, maybe two. And the guy walked up and said, hey, my name's Bernard. I just wanted to introduce myself. If you have any questions, let me know. I'm going to be over here. Okay, cool. I start looking around. About 5 minutes, he can tell that I'm like clueless here, looking at stuff. He walks up and goes, hey, you know what? I've observed that you're looking at this style. Is this a style that you really want? And I'm like, not really. This is what I kind of want. I walked out of there with 5 suits, 5 shirts, 2 pairs of shoes, 2 belts, and 4 ties. When I went in there for one suit, possibly 2. Why? Because he gave me space. And then he was the expert, and he came over and said, hey, you know what, I've observed this. Is this the style you really want? Because, you know, these suits here, I forget what they were. They maybe were at $500 or something like that. Just like, we got a 2-for-1 special over here, you know, and a mix and match special over here. So what do you want? I probably spent a lot more money than I wanted to in that store. But I walked out of there like, hey, you know what? I just got a great deal. That guy was wonderful. I think I referred 3 people to him. But I guarantee you I probably would have walked out of that store with nothing because I walked into a different suit store and the guy jumped all over me like, hey, what can I help you with? What can I help you with? Hey, man, I'm just looking. And then literally he was following me down each aisle being like, hey, you know what? We have this and this other size. I'm like, all right, I'm leaving. So I hope that just a couple of these examples have helped. I hope that you take away the LTR. Listen, take notes, respond. Now we'll open it up for any questions that you guys have.
And let me just interject. There's a questions box on the right-hand side of your toolbar if you're viewing the webinar. So feel free to type in a question in there if you haven't already discovered that question box. And we actually have one question already. I'm a moving company. How do I benefit the people I'm calling without giving a price discount?
Absolutely. So as a moving company, I'm going to write this question down. So Shannon, if you could just tell me it one more time.
Okay, so I'm a moving company. How do I benefit the people I'm calling without giving a price discount?
Absolutely. So as a mover, one of the things that we want to establish, are you a commercial mover, residential mover, or both? If you're both, without giving a price discount, one of the things that you can call up, engagement marketing, Gail from Constant Contact has this nailed down pretty good. Started with 50,000 customers and moved up to 500,000. So knowing about engagement marketing, you want to start by giving these people something. So when you make that first call, hi, this is Frank calling with ABC Moving Company. The reason for my call is we've recognized you as one of the fastest growing companies in ABC land. And what we'd like to do is we'd like to be a mover of choice for all of your employees. We have a corporate rate that we would offer to all of your employees. And by the way, we do commercial if you're ever interested. Would you guys mind hanging a couple of flyers? And would you mind if we sent over a couple of relocation flyers for you and your team? You just gave them something by saying, hey, we want to help your whole team. Opposed to just calling up saying, hi, I'm Billy Bob's moving down the street here, and I want to move your office. I see a for sale sign up. Where are you guys moving to? I can come over. So eliminate that price altogether by not even mentioning price. Hey, we have a corporate rate that we'd love to get in and help all of your employees. And by the way, we do specialize in commercial as well. A couple of our top clients we've provided this to, and we'd really like to partner with you. Emphasizing the partnership, emphasizing the solution to the employees. When I was in the banking field, we used to call it work-life solutions. We try to get the business's business by providing free accounts, free loans, discounted rates to all of their employees. Because if we're taking care of their employees, the business is going to like us more. So as a mover, that would be my approach.
Okay, I have one more question here from Sarah. Do you have any tips on getting through gatekeepers?
Yes, the gatekeeper, as we like to call her, or the receptionist, secretary. One of the biggest things is, remember, they get paid lots of money not to put you through. And their sole purpose is simply just to not get you on, because their boss is on a pedestal. So as I mentioned earlier, you need to put yourself on that pedestal as well. And how do we do that? What we say automatically as soon as we make that first phone call is, your time's valuable. So, hi, is Joe in? No, he's not. Oh, do you expect him in later? No. Okay, thanks. And then try to call back another time. Or better one is, because most of the time they're going to ask you a couple of questions. But if you have to answer a question, make sure you ask a question, give and take. So, hi, is Joe available? I'm not sure. What is this in regards? It's just a conversation I need to have with Joe. He should be expecting my call. Or if he's not expecting your call, if this is the first call in, hey, is Joe available? No. Is something I can help you with? No, I really need to speak with Joe. Do you expect him in later today, or would he be available on his cell phone? Now you just put yourself up there with Joe. Hey, you know what? I don't have time to do the 50 questions back and forth. I need to speak with Joe. If he's not in, let me know a good time I can call him back. Or can I get his voicemail? Or does he have a cell phone that I can call? That's a tip that a lot of our partners have told us usually works, putting themselves on the pedestal or building the relationship with the gatekeeper or receptionist. But you have to stress to them that your time is just as valuable as them, and also, why are you going to pitch your product or solution or service to the receptionist when they have no control over the budget or the decision making? So you want to, hey, if they ask you, well, can I help you with this? No. I mean, you don't want to be rude to them, but you want to get the point across, like, are you the one that's going to make the ultimate decision? No. Okay, then I really need to speak with Joe.
I have a couple people asking if they can get a copy of the slides, and I just want to let everyone know we will be, this has been recorded, and we will send this out as a follow-up email within the next few days, so you will be able to get a copy of the slides. And then we have a question from Edward. He says, I am in the copy machine industry. How do I obtain the quotes that my customer received from competitors so we can compare them to ours and see what they are providing or not providing to the customer, especially if their quote is lower? So that's from Ed.
Okay. And that's a great question. So the solution there, one of the things that you can do, copiers, I mean, they're in every business. So maybe one thing that you could do is on your cell phone, block the number, have a family member call some of your competitors and just give guesstimates. Be like, hey, you know what? I have an office that has 4 copiers and I'd like a quote. Here's what I'm looking to do. And call a couple of your competitors and see exactly what those prices are, so then you can see if you're in line, or even going on the internet and seeing beforehand, because you need to do some research on your competitors and what else is out there so that you can be the expert. So in Ed's case, I'd strongly recommend having somebody, whether it's your intern, your receptionist, make a couple of calls, family members, to some of the local competitors and just say, hey, I'm looking to upgrade my copy production. I was wondering what is out there. Could you just give me a ballpark figure? I won't hold you to it. Like I said, I'm just in the initial stages, so it wouldn't be worth your time to come out. But here's what I have. I have a 25,000 square foot office or 2,500 square foot office. I got 3 copiers. Maybe I need 4. Could you give me a ballpark figure on that? And then you could do your own quote on those, so then you can kind of get a gut check on where you are price-wise.
Okay, and then I think we have time for one more question, and this is from Melissa. So she sells business phone systems. Often the product is perfect for the client, and they agree that it would be a wise investment. However, a common objection is now is not the right time. We have a number of other projects going on right now and cannot take on anything else. I usually follow with, okay, when should I check back with you? But then months can go by, and it's never the right time. How can I overcome this objection?
That is a great question, and all of our new reps here have struggled with that until we've addressed it. So some of these people were seasoned salespeople, and it's the biggest one. You know, our product's great. You have the phone system; it matches their needs. It's a wise investment. Price isn't an issue, but we got a lot of stuff going on right now. Why should I buy now? Or when should I check in? By a rule of thumb, you don't want to nag them, but at the same time, you want to schedule your follow-ups and build that trust. So if you tell them in 2 weeks you're going to follow up. Once you're done your initial presentation with them, this is the biggest thing. As soon as you're done, you pitch the offer, they love it. What would prevent you from purchasing from us within 48 hours? Asking that question. And then maybe they're going to come back and say, well, we have a lot of projects going on, so I really don't know if now's the right time. When would be the right time? Would be the question to ask. But we really don't know. So why is it now the right time if you don't know 4 months down the road if it's going to be the right time? If it makes sense to you and everything falls in line and you realize what the benefit is, why isn't right now the time? And you could, again, highlight everything that you've already covered with them in a brief recap by simply saying, you know, we covered all the advantages to this. Remember, this is what it's going to do. It's going to increase your productivity, and, you know, based on this phone system, it's going to help do X, Y, Z. So what we've learned is, as the experts in the phone system, is that our top clients in a similar situation from you. They tried to put it off, and when they finally did sign up, they said, man, we shouldn't have waited this long. So, and I'm sure you have a couple of customers that you've had success after a couple of months closing them that probably have said that to you. I don't know why we waited. So reliving that story to those people, but also asking for the business as soon as it's done. What's going to prevent you from signing up within 48 hours? Because we could have a guy out here tomorrow installing this, getting you guys up and running. Or what is the real objection? I understand you have projects going on. We don't want to take away from that, but this is something you need. We're trying to help you. So just repeating the solutions and why now's the good time to do it. I hope I answered that question.
Okay, we have a couple more questions, but we're running out of time, so I think what we'll do is respond to everyone who asked a question in greater detail after the webinar. And then if anybody else wants to contact Frank with your question, feel free to reach out to him. His email is right up there.
Thank you guys for I wish it was a little bit more interactive with talking, so I could do the 80% listening and let you guys talk a majority of it. But if you guys have any questions whatsoever, please do not hesitate to contact me via email. Feel free to connect with me on LinkedIn. And for any other helpful tips, if you go to insightprm.com, there's a whole resource guide of questions, videos that a lot of salespeople find useful. And if you guys are available on March 19th, I strongly recommend listening to Heather Eisenman, a Business Development University coach. She was an ADP standout. I guess that sums everything up. I really appreciate your time. And if you have any questions, don't hesitate to ask.
Okay, great. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.